The remedy to the maelstrom that we're facing in America is a return to those founding principles. And so what is required of us? What is required of us is to recast those principles back into the public square, to recast those principles back into our public schools and in our homes and in our families, to reintroduce them to our children and to reintroduce them to ourselves, so that we can use them as the means by which to rescue this republic. You see, American exceptionalism cannot be detached from those principles of liberty, equality, the consent of the governed, the right to private property, religious freedom, constitutionalism, and individualism. These are the first principles that made this nation great. And we must return to them. We must use them. We must use them as the means to rescue this republic. And so, men and women, I'm convinced that we can save this republic. But it requires of us to stay on course, to not be distracted. You see, what will happen in November will happen because we're up and we're activated. But November is not the end game. November is the beginning game. It is the opening salvo across the bowl of communism, across the bow of socialism. We are saying we will not tolerate socialism and communism in this nation. And we will push back. We will push back. We will push back. And we must push back. We must push back. So November is the opening game. But our engagement must go beyond November. We cannot return to the couches. We cannot return to the television. We must stay up and be vigilant to fight for these liberties that have been handed down to us. We the people, the power resides with us. With us. And we must use that power to maintain what has been given to us. The fidelity of that which has been given to us requires a vigilance, a focus, a targeted effort. And when we are too old to fight, we take the baton and we hand it off to our sons and our daughters and say, on to the rampart, child. We must fight for these liberties, because if we don't fight, they will take it away. We must fight. I'll end with this. I want you to know that there's more of us than it is of them.
Yeah, that's right.
And part of what we're fighting, men and women, is a power elite.
That's right.
Saul Alinsky says in his template that a community organizer is a revolutionary, and he is to organize the proletariat to foment discontent and moral confusion. I understand discontent, but I didn't understand why he said moral confusion. But after studying it, I recognize that if they can remove the absolutes,
That's right.
that acts as the cohesiveness and the adhesiveness for our culture and our society, then they rip us apart and then replace it with their ideology, because they have removed the absolutes. Men and women, we are facing a challenge to the absolute truths of our faith. This fight is more spiritual than many of us want to admit.